Welcome back to another explainer. Look, if you're completely exhausted by running training sessions that feel, well, chaotic, rushed, or just totally disorganized, you have absolutely landed in the right place. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the ultimate trainer's guide for seamless delivery. We are going to show you exactly how to transform potential chaos into a confident, highly effective experience. Because the truth is, real training success happens long before anyone even steps foot in the room.
We've got a really solid roadmap today to guarantee that seamless delivery. We'll be hitting 6 key stops: why preparation actually matters, defining your outcomes and audiences, mapping out the pre-training timeline, nailing layouts and technology, mastering delivery and engagement, and finally, executing that post-training follow-up. All right, let's jump right into section 1, why preparation matters, or more accurately, how to avoid the chaos. So be honest for a second. Have you ever sat through a genuinely chaotic training session? We all have, right? You're sitting there and you can just tell the trainer is panicking. They're distracted by missing materials, weird technical glitches, or maybe the room layout is just completely wrong. And because their focus is entirely on surviving the logistics, your actual learning becomes a total afterthought. Careful preparation is the only real antidote here. It dictates your confidence, it keeps the schedule on track, and crucially, it gives you the breathing room to adapt on the fly when things inevitably go sideways. Moving on to section 2, outcomes and audiences. This is all about knowing your goals and, of course, your people. A crystal clear, measurable outcome is essentially your true north. If your objective is simply something like, participants will understand customer service, you are walking right into a vague, unmeasurable trap. Instead, you've got to aim for total precision, something more like, by the end of this session, participants will be able to use our 4-step process to respond to a customer complaint. See the difference? That kind of precise target instantly dictates exactly what content you need, what activities to run, and exactly how you'll measure your success at the end. But here's the thing, you also have to deeply understand the people actually aiming for that target. You can never assume everyone in your room is starting from the exact same baseline. Send out a quick pre-survey to uncover their specific roles, what they already know, and their digital confidence. You absolutely must factor in critical accessibility needs too, everything from mobility requirements to just making sure your font sizes are readable. Your agenda has to reflect the actual, real-life humans attending, not just some idealized audience you made up in your head. Okay, section 3, the pre-training timeline. Think of this as your launch sequence. This macro timeline anchors your entire preparation phase. Starting way out at 4 to 8 weeks, that's when you define your learning objectives, confirm your attendee numbers, and lock in the venue. Then, 2 to 4 weeks out, you're actively developing the actual content and coordinating things like dietary requirements or setting up hybrid links. And then we hit the final countdown, 1 week before and then that crucial day before, which, by the way, should be entirely dedicated to saving backups, charging devices, and printing out your essential materials. Zooming in on that critical 1-week mark, there are 4 specific steps that are basically vital for your survival. First, confirm those final participant numbers. Second, physically rehearse your presentation end-to-end, out loud. Third, strictly check the timing of each section so you aren't rushing. And fourth, prep your backup activities. Testing all your files now ensures you are completely familiar with the flow and totally armed for the unexpected. Section 4 already? Layouts and technology. This is where we look at your physical and digital environments. The physical design of your room has to explicitly match your learning goal. For example, a standard classroom layout offers great individual workspace for highly structured courses. But if you want collaboration, cabaret seating naturally forces teamwork. A U-shape is fantastic because it destroys that physical barrier between you and the participants, strongly encouraging open discussion. Boardroom seating is perfect for driving focused leadership conversations. And theater seating? Save that strictly for accommodating large presentations where nobody really needs table space. Now, on the digital side, these tech checks are just non-negotiable. You need to confirm your microphones and speakers, ensure the venue's Wi-Fi can actually handle the bandwidth, pack literally every adapter and charger you own, check your camera positioning, and test screen sharing. This is absolutely critical for hybrid setups. Your remote participants have to be able to see the content, hear the room, and jump in just as easily as the people sitting right in front of you. I want you to keep this crucial warning permanently burned into your mind. Do not assume every device will connect automatically. Seriously, it is the most common trap trainers fall into. You have to test the actual laptop and the exact presentation files you plan to use on the day. Bring suitable adapters, test those hybrid connections from a remote perspective, and please always keep backup files in multiple locations. When you're dealing with purpose-built facilities, places like Karsten's, for example, asking highly specific logistical questions up front ensures everything is locked down long before you arrive. Ask them point blank. Are my preferred room layouts actually available? What AV equipment is explicitly included? Is your Wi-Fi robust enough for a really large group? Are there breakout spaces available? And always request written confirmation of these details so you get zero surprises on training day. All right, Section 5, Delivery and Engagement. It's T0. Your participants are arriving, and it's all about active observation. A truly balanced session strategically alternates between your presentation, practical activities, reflection, and discussion. The golden rule here: plan a proper break or a meaningful activity change every 60 to 90 minutes. Please do not try to fill every single minute of the day. Participants desperately need time to ask questions, switch gears between exercises, and actually process what you're telling them. Remember, managing their energy is just as critical as managing your time. And to keep that energy high, your engagement has to go way beyond just passive listening. You want to deploy live polls, highly contextual case studies, breakout discussions, role-playing, and shared documents. But you have to adhere to this strict rule. Only use these methods if they directly support your specific learning objective. Never throw in a digital tool or a game just because it seems fun. Oh, and always provide crystal clear instructions and strict time limits before any activity kicks off. Let's treat these common preparation mistakes as your definitive cautionary checklist. Avoid unclear outcomes. Do not overload your agenda. Never use unreadable slides with tiny, impossible-to-read fonts. Stop assuming your technology will just seamlessly work on its own. Don't ignore the wildly different experience levels sitting right in front of you. And never, ever walk in without a solid backup plan. Eliminate these mistakes, and your focus gets to stay entirely on your learners. Finally, Section 6, Post-Training Follow-Up, How We Consolidate the Learning. Closing the actual session is really just the beginning. Executing these post-flight steps is what actually turns your training into tangible workplace action. First, collect participant feedback to drive your future improvements. Second, immediately send out your presentation materials and resources. Third, make sure you follow up on any complex questions you had to part during the session. And most importantly, review whether those crystal clear learning outcomes we defined way back in Step 1 were actually achieved. The ultimate takeaway from all of this is actually really simple. Preparation equals confidence. The careful, deliberate coordination of your learning outcomes, your audience's unique needs, your technology, and the venue itself is exactly what transforms potential chaos into a genuinely seamless delivery. When you aren't quietly panicking about missing adapters or a vague agenda, you can finally focus on what actually matters, facilitating real transformative understanding in that room. So, I want to leave you with one final thought to help you take immediate action on everything we've uncovered in this explainer today. Looking back at everything from layout choices to hybrid tech checks to outcome planning, what single step will you change in your next training prep to guarantee a seamless delivery? Pick just one thing, apply it, and watch the entire dynamic of your room transform. Thanks so much for joining us.